Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is put a lift underneath it so that when you put it underneath, you can lift it just enough to get that bolt in right there. Again, this is reassembly already. To get the strut out itself, after you remove the upper control arm, you got to remove it from right there, and then remove the sway bar link right there. And I believe they're all 18 millimeters or 16 millimeter. Remove the bolt right here for the lower tie rod. It'll drop down, and then this whole assembly will drop down essentially. And then what you do is you undo the 3 bolts at the top, and then this right here, instead of the instructions tell you to put this up and then it'll pivot over, this right here doesn't clear the axle, this strut. So what you do is you put it down, and then you're gonna pivot the strut upwards. So like it'll go that way. So you'll put it down all the way and then out like that, right? So the top part will come out this way first. It'll be very tight up to here. It'll even hit this a little bit, but it'll go like down this way. And I'll show you from the top. You're gonna remove these bolts right there, and there's some stuff you gotta remove over there to get to that 16 millimeter nut. There's one on each side, 16 there and 16 there. Then you're gonna undo these 2 10 millimeters right there for the brake line. Make sure not to pull on this because it may break. And pretty much that's it. You don't have to remove the axle, but you got to be very careful not to tear the boot. This is a headlight leveling sensor. What you do is this pin right here comes down. Just take a pick and pick it down, and then press on top right there, and that'll actually drop down. And then over here, there's the first bolt, super easy to get to. But the other bolt is not easy to get to. It's right there. You see it? So you got to move some stuff around. You got to like take this off right here, take the cover off. Not too bad, but it's right there, and then you can get to it. And then you got 3 up here, obviously. You got 1, 2, 3, and then your connector. This is the connector for your active suspension. And then obviously you're gonna need a spring compressor. So here's your spring compressor right here that we're using. And then here's some of the 16 mil, 18 mil, 19 millimeter, 24 millimeter, a T40 you're gonna need, extension. You're gonna need a 18 millimeter. You're gonna need a 16 millimeter. You're not going to need this. All you do is you just use an air hammer if you have one. Use an air hammer to get the tie rod out if you need help. And then you're going to need a 22 millimeter, an 18 millimeter, various ratchets, a 24 millimeter for that lower bolt with a 12 point. I also like to use on all of the fittings when I'm putting everything back together, some sort of synthetic lubricating oil. And here's a 13/16 as well.